brutally honest thoughts on Wuthering Waves growing levels of greed. Yeah, we've been meaning to talk about this. Yep, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, he did change the title because at first the title was Exposing Wuthering Waves Biblical Levels of Greed. Brutally honest. It might have been more. It looks like it was more. Wait, let me see. What is this? Wuthering Waves, Levels of Greed. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Either way, it looks like he went with the thumbnail that wasn't, the title that wasn't doing the greatest. Now, why did he change it? I don't know. Now, the dislike ratio could be a reason why. Okay, now let me just go ahead and just get this over with immediately. Wuthering Waves is definitely predatory. This is not even a question, and if you just don't think so, you might be a bot, quite frankly. You might just be an NPC. This is why NCE is just the best gacha game out there, period, by the way. Yep, call it tribalism. I don't care. I'm trying to make sure you eat right. Now, do you want your wallet to be drained, or do you want your wallet to still be full? Because if you want your wallet to still be a little full, then I suggest you go to NCE, which, mind you, now might I add, does not have a 50 flipping 50, and somehow was on the top 10 rankings of the gacha games, by the way. So I don't know, like, already, right, we have some people in the comments going absolute ape crazy bananas. People talking about some, bro, you're complaining about the bikes. Insinuation that Genshin is even slightly generous is absurd. Are we dead huz right now? So people was basically, it looks like there's a lot of Kuro bots in the comments, but again, I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna tell you if it's cap or not, because I'm not about to, bro, people call me an NTE bot, a Kuro bot, Hoyo Shell, bro, they call me everything under the moon and the sun, and all I really care is, I just give my opinion, quite frankly. I don't care about these companies, quite frankly, unless you want to sponsor me. I don't care about you, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even if you do sponsor me, I'm still gonna be as brutally honest as I can. Wuthering Waves, and listen, this is from a guy that spends the money on the game. Notice how I did not do a video on pulling Lucia, because at this point I'm done spending money on Wuthering Waves. The 50-50 game, we're done with this. Get this no 50-50 bull crap out of here, boy. Anyway, let's get into this.
Kuro Games is not the same as it used to be. Wuthering Waves,
we're starting off strong. It's not anyone that says it is, like, stop the cap, genuinely stop the cap.
It used to be the forefather of generosity and lack of greed in the gacha space, paving way for other gacha games to come through to be even more generous. When
notice how NCE is already doing that. Again, I'm not trying to glaze NCE here, but you said I am. No, I'm not. But like, all I'm saying is, notice how NTE is like mind you, NTE has no 50-50. Like how many times do I have to get this to people's head? People want to talk about AI slop, when Wuthering Waves has been caught using AI multiple times, and they're not even caught. They came out and publicly used AI. So that's honestly at the question. If you want to get on NTE when Wuthering Waves is doing the same thing, NTE is so much more generous. You can literally quit a patch and not come for a whole patch in NTE, and you will be able to guarantee pull a character, by the way, guarantee. But anyways, all right, we can
against the greed of Genshin Impact. At the very least, that's how it used to be. But nowadays, it seems as though Wuthering Waves is actually becoming less generous over time, and Genshin Impact is becoming more generous over time.
Now, I wouldn't say that. I will say Genshin flipping Impact. Again, mind you, a game that does not let you have a freaking skip button, by the way. I would say that game is still more predatory, and just like, honestly, this is not even debatable, quite frankly. Kuro Games is up there, though. No. Kuro Games is up there, mind you. I'm a heavy spender. I wouldn't even say heavy spender, but like, since I've came back to the anniversary, this is the most money I've spent in any gacha game of the past decade of my life. Mind you, I'm not even that old, by the way, but that just goes to show you how traumatizing this is.
It's absolutely absurd. And
I'm stop pausing.
But you'll see what I'm talking about shortly. In this video, we're basically going to be talking about how Kuro Games sold their soul. They want to be part of the big boys, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, Endless Zone Zero, and be in the conversation of the big four, and yet they keep employing practices that you only see in lower tier gacha games that aren't AAA ones. So why is it that they want to have the reputation of being a big dog, and yet they keep using the tactics found in lower tier games? Now, I say lower tier not in the sense that they're worse games, but in the sense that they just don't have as much budget, which would make them not AAA, because AAA is indicative of budget and only sometimes quality. And all of this greed time really culminates in the Cyberpunk collab, where it is so greedy.
One of the most greediest collabs I've seen in the past decade of my life. I have to say that again. Either way, right? Now, I know CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk, all of them, right? Do we know the contract that they made? Absolutely not. That being said, though, the amount of greedy practices they use for this is absolutely insane. Mind you, I summoned on Lucy, and I played the Cyberpunk story. I know what I'm talking about. Either way, even with a 10 out of 10 story, which low-key is an extra episode out of the anime, I do not think, and mind you, if I had lost my 50-50, if I had lost my 50 flipping 50, boy, I would have.
Egregious, all you can do is shake your head at how unbelievable it is. We're also going to talk about how did we get here? What even happened? How did Kuro get like this? All right, let's talk about it. This really starts with skins. Kuro Games has been adding an alarming amount of skins in the game. They've been adding skin after skin after skin. Now, normally, this is totally fine, because skins in gacha games are par for the course. You'd see skins in Genshin, Honkai.
Yes, they are a part of the course, but here's another thing that NCE does well again. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to glaze NCE. The fact that NCE, all I care about is give me the core character. In Wuthering Waves, they still have the 50-50, which it mind you was worse for the Cyberpunk collab because your pity did not carry over, by the way. I don't think no one is mentioning that, but the pity did not carry over, so you have to start over. Yes, over. Absolute insane, quite frankly. Absolute insanity, quite frankly.
Star Rails and the Zone Zero. It's an additional way to make revenue off of characters. Now, normally skins in Wuthering Waves cost between $20 and $30. Now, in a normal context outside of this genre, that's obviously a ridiculous price. However, I've seen cheaper skins, like an NCE. Skins can be $15, as low as $15, or as high as $100. So a $20 to $30 skin, then again, this Jinsei skin is $50. That's actually like quite average in the space. It's exactly what you would expect in all of the AAA gachas. So this isn't a problem. Not to mention, many of the skins that Wuthering Waves makes are really high quality, and the players love them, right? Chun-Li skin is absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. Carlotta skin is decent. It's actually worse than her base outfit, but people love Carlotta, plus, and it's good enough, right? It gives a different vibe on the character. One of the rare cases that a skin is actually worse than the base design. How strange. But that's not the issue, because they're not only adding skins for characters, they're adding skins in other areas too, in particular, bike skins.
Complete bull, by the way. Mind you, we don't even know we can take this to the next region with us, by the way. So I honestly, complete bull. Before anyone starts saying anything, look how much a freaking bike skin is. And do I care that this man owns a bike skin? No, the principles still apply, buddy. Do I care that this man has so many? Do I care? No, I don't care. What I care about is the fact that we are charging 24 flipping 99, boy, for a flipping bike skin. For Imeth, now, okay, of course, Imeth, our daughter, like, okay, of course, like, okay, sure, no, I still wouldn't. What? Boy, please, son, please, I would not buy this. No, I would not buy this. I would not. And it's not like it's not like it really even do anything, quite frankly. Like, this is not even like.
Bike skins have been plaguing the game ever since Kuro has introduced the motorbike. They're adding multiple bike skins that cost as much money as skins despite only having a fraction of the development time.
Mind you, if you're defending this, there is no reason why a freaking bike skin should be 24 flipping 99, boy. Again, like I had to remind you guys, 24 flipping 99.
$25 bike skins is absurd. No matter how good a bike skin looks, it's crazy for them to sell a bike skin to you for $25. Of course, that's not only where it ends. They're also adding other skins in the game for your wings. So we have this $10 wing set right here where you get wings that they glow. They have this glowing trail behind them. You also get 300 astrite.
Ridiculous, but at the same time, this one is not as egregious. And you could even argue that the bike one is not as egregious. But no, I'm standing firm on that bike skin. 24 flipping 99. Mind you, we don't even know, like, stop it. Stop. I'm laughing.
Obviously, it's up to every individual person to decide whether this is a good value proposition for them. So I'm not telling you whether, whatever, we don't even need to talk about that. A $10 wing skin, okay? That's interesting. These bike skins, generally speaking, look pretty good. So this is not a scam selling you a $25 bike skin that looks bad. Like in other games, there's a skin and it looks bad and it costs a lot of money.
I mean, it's alright. Like, actually, you know what? It does look good. Unless these are accessories. If the Hiki and I'm doing it's accessories, then stop. Get out.
Actually look pretty decent. Sure, less development time and more lazy than a character skin, and yet they can make a large sum of money off of them, but they actually are giving you a value proposition. Here's a really good skin that looks pretty good going around the world. It glows, it gives a trail, it's very interesting, and you get other perks alongside the skin as well. Of course, not only those characters get bike skins, we also have bike skins for other characters like Lene, Yuno, and Chisa. Okay, so now
just look at this. Honestly, just look at this right now. Again, all of this you don't have to buy. Let me make this very clear. But the fact that it's even here, now these aren't as bad. The fact that these are $9.99, this is more in the ballpark. I don't know why Imeth is 24 flipping 99, buddy. I just don't understand it. I'm surprised Potential Woman is even, now I'm surprised she only is $9.99. She need to be $5.99. All these need to be $5.99. Keep it a buck, but regardless, that's
bike skin problem is really starting to ramp up. These are $10 bike skins. Once you start seeing how much skins Kuro Game has added, you're going to start to see the problem unfold before itself. Now, at the end of the day, this is kind of where things stopped for a while, right? Bike skins, character skins, and everyone was kind of like, oh,
yeah, which I would argue it was not that bad until things started like like progressively getting worse. And mind you, I'm a guy that spends money on the game. I know what I'm talking about. For anyone that don't spend money on the game, trust me, we are getting to you next. We will be getting to you next. I'm just,
it is what it is.
Let me just let it be known.
What are we even complaining about? Okay, but once a company kind of enters in a new realm, they don't only stop there. Now they're adding new accessory skins.
Fairs, quite frankly, fairs, like
on type of characters. I mean, this is about as lazy it could possibly get. Lene and Mornier are getting accessories, a pair.
$39.99. Now some might think that it's not that much, right? But for one, add tax onto that, by the way. So it's really $5, quite frankly. I'm just being nice right now. It's $5 for a flipping glasses for Lene. But again, I already know people in the comments gonna be like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to buy it. Okay, we are getting to the people that don't spend money. Trust me, we are getting there.
Glasses for $4. A halo above Mornier's head for $4. Okay, now things are getting a little strange here. A $4 purchase? Now, this is probably the cheapest the skin is going to be. Why is that? Because this is in USD. And when you start converting to other currencies, it'll be more expensive. I mean, it's absurd to be selling a pair of glasses for $4. Of course, Kuro Games is trying to be a little generous.
Absurd.
So after this version is over, these pair of accessories will be reduced to 400 astrite, which is about 2.5 wishes, which is phenomenal. That's remarkable. So it's a little strange. You'll find that throughout this video, the answer of what's going on here is for money. Why is it that it costs $4 now, and yet if you wait, you can get it for 2.5 wishes? I mean, that's a scam. There's absolutely no reason at all to purchase this skin whatsoever. Of course, unless you really want to give them your money. Except, out of everything that I've shown you thus far, this is literally the worst value proposition of all time. At least with these other $10 skins, it's kind of the same, right? You kind of purchase this skin for $25 and you get it, and that value stays the same for everyone.
Right, mind you, this is not even going into the 50, bro. Like, I promise y'all, after I got done playing NTE, I cannot, in good faith, talk any good about these gacha game systems that don't have no 50-50 in them. I'm sorry, maybe, like, sorry, yeah, sorry, not, no, I'm not sorry, actually.
Here, you're kind of literally getting scammed. It's a scam.
You're quite literally getting cracked without your consent, quite frankly. Let's just keep it a buck, but either way.
Because of the price decrease. Okay, that's only the beginning. Honestly, this is all bad, but it's only the tip of the iceberg, as I said.
Right, only the tip of the iceberg, by the way. It gets worse somehow. It gets worse.
Now we have a little bit more greed. Okay, now this isn't all in order, but this is in order of egregiousness. We have this rover crown that's on the rover's head. I want you to guess within 1 second how much you think this rover crown cost.
No idea, but let's just go for the ballpark of this is Kuro Games. I mean, how much money I spent? About 150. Gotta be 150. And that might be a little bit too high, but that's the amount of money I'm spending at least to get a character. At least. My bad.
I mean, this is just a smaller crown on the top of someone's head. You can get this during the anniversary. This crown cost a whopping $100.
What did I say? How is it even $100? Where did you even find this at, quite frankly? Hold on, wait, let's hear him out.
It's reward.
250? Sorry, I was thinking about the Tower of... It's 250? 250. It's 250. I think that's an arm and a leg, ain't it? No? Oh, wow. Okay. Insanity. Mind you, if this was any other game, people would be crashing out. If this was Hoyoverse, people would be crashing out. I'm sorry, it just has to be known.
How that spending event played out, it's not even really that bad. Generally speaking.
It's not that bad? Now, again, you already know what the people are going to be saying. Oh, just don't buy it. Oh, it's all accessories. Yes, that is fine and all dandy. But again, Wuthering Waves was not like this. How does ZZZ have a better freaking reward system than this, by the way? I just find that ironic, but... I mean, actually, no, you know what? Am I going to take that back, though? The only reason I might take this back is because Shorekeeper is on here. That's it, boy. And ZZZ, they had what? Bernice, Grace. They didn't really. That was kind of booty. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like
spending. Nah. So the vibe was, generally speaking, this was actually just a gift to the community. If you want to spend money on iMyth, which
a gift to the community? How is this a gift to the community? For one, why did
a lot of people were going to do anyway? Then these would effectively be free rewards. So in the grand context, it's fine. But in the limited journey that we're going to be going on more and more greedy practices that I'm going to be showing throughout this video, this $100 crown is disgusting. It's like completely out of
$250, by the way. Like, for this little baby, I'm spending, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. Like, I can't. I genuinely can't. That's the crazy thing.
Place in this game. Now, a question has to be in your mind by this point. Why is Wuthering Waves adding so many skins? It's bizarre. You do not see this level of skin pushing in other AAA gacha games. Sure, people actually complain in other gacha games that they don't add enough skins. People will often say in Genshin, oh man, if only they added more skins.
But no one wants no skins in Genshin flipping them back. Like what? already predatory game. Oh,
And I would add, why is Kuro not as, why is Hoyo not adding more skins? I would be spending more money in Hoyo if they did. But adding skins is an admission of inferiority in the gacha space, because you're basically admitting that you can't make as much money on characters, which is why you're selling more skins. More on that later. But before I go into that, we need to talk about the Cyberpunk collab, which is the ultimate culmination of greed that Kuro Games has been exhibiting. Let's talk about that. The Cyberpunk collab features Lucy and
one of the most greediest things I've seen in the past decade of my life, by the way. Worse than the NTE Porch collab, by the way, which I was way too hard on the NTE Porch collab, even though that one was still some hot garbage as well. This one was like insanity. Mind you, if I lost my 50 flipping 50,
two interesting characters.
I'm getting PTSD just thinking about it. All right,
Cyberpunk series, and they're pretty epic, pretty sick. Lucy looks insanely good. She looks epic, and Rebecca was given for free. Now, everyone will tell you that the Cyberpunk collab was a fantastic event. Which
it was great. It was great. The story was great. Characters are great. Animations look great. The references to the actual game, which I played, by the way, is great. Outside of that, the way to actually get the flipping characters, if Rebecca was not free, Kuro Games, even if Rebecca was like, well, she needs Lucy, by the way, to even run good, by the way, but either way, like, let's just say Kuro Games was able to, if they didn't give Lucy, not Lucy, Rebecca out for free, I feel like people would have still been defending this, quite frankly.
Loved it. Everyone thought it was awesome. And because it was so epic, everything that I'm about to complain about will kind of fall on deaf ears, because it was so good, so brilliant, that many people actually consider it a proper ending and epilogue to the Cyberpunk anime. It's so good, it's considered canon. And yet, Kuro has used this good faith effort of delivering you a fantastic 10 out of 10 product to derive as much money out of you as possible.
And let's just go ahead and look at the comments for this one, because somebody in the comments said some bull. So immediately we get into some bull. Look at this right here. I don't defend what Kuro did with this collab, but I'm also not going to complain about it. Why are you not complaining about it? This collab is predatory. What are you talking about? For a simple fact, I have no idea what the details are on the contract that they signed to do it in the first place. And the collab in general is really good. Okay, we already know the collab is good. Let's talk about how if you lose your 50 flipping 50, buddy, you're spending over 200, quite frankly, which you could just go get the original Cyberpunk for that. But either way, let's say, okay, money aside, this is still predatory. It doesn't matter if we know what the freaking contract was, buddy. Do you know how expensive this is? Do you even have the characters? Like, do they even have the characters? This might just be rage bait. And low-key, I just fell for it.
And in one way, you might say to yourself, okay, I mean, isn't that worth it? I mean, Kuro definitely put in way more effort into
Is it worth it? I mean, sure. Is it worth it for my flipping wallet? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Mind you, like,
collab than Genshin did with Aloy, which was an absolute joke. So they deserve the money. Maybe. Okay. I mean, it could. Let's talk about what they did, and you can decide that for yourself. So as we know with this collab, they had this spending banner system where the more pulls you do, you get refunded on the pulls, and then you can eventually pull a certain amount of times and get these selectors.
Mind you, I went all the way up to my 50 flipping 50, and I didn't even get this right here. So I don't know what they was expecting. Like, I genuinely don't know what they was expecting, because I only got like 80 pulls. Yeah, right here. So the only way you would have been able to get them is if you lost the 50-50, right? Which is still a lot of money, by the way. Still a lot.
The character sequences. And basically up to 160, it's kind of actually worth it. It's like one of the greatest things Kuro has ever done. And then the pulls kind of get more and further apart. Then you get 420, which is kind of ridiculous. But Kuro Games is a very forgiving system. Thus, if you pull enough times, surely you will be able to get these sequences and get these characters. Unfortunately, on this banner specifically, Kuro actually changed the rules on how the banner functions. We'll notice here that in Kuro Games, there's a special shop called the Coral Shop. The Coral Shop is basically this unique currency that you get when you pull on a banner, and you get the currency back when you get dupes of characters. It's a way to effectively get refunds for other things that you want in the game. Perhaps you get refunded for getting a dupe, and because you got that dupe of the weapon or the character, you're able to get more pulls, more weapon pulls, any of these cards, this Phantom for Echoes, and basically resources. It's very useful. Now, when you get refunds in the Cyberpunk collab, they changed the rules on how much you get refunded in this collab.
And you know what? I think what would be like this is not even fair, because had they not changed any of this right here, I would have been like, okay, you know what? At least they let us carry over the pity, and they didn't change the Kuro system, right? But these guys changed this. Absolute insanity. Absolute
Let's
insanity.
just read it, okay? Because there's no commentary I can do that's better than just reading it. On obtaining a 5-star resonator for the first time, you will receive 12 corals. On obtaining a 5-star resonator that you already own, you will receive 1 wave band and 12 corals. From the 8th time onward, you will receive 30. Okay, sure. On obtaining a 4-star resonator, you will receive 2 corals. On obtaining a 4-star resonator that you already own, you will receive 1 wave band and 2 corals. From the 8th time onward, you will receive 5. 4-star weapon, you receive 2. 5-star that is not the featured one, you will receive an additional 25. For the weapon banner, we have 2, 2, 5. On obtaining a 5-star weapon for the first time, you receive 12. 4-star weapon, you will receive 2. Now, this is all very interesting. We're going to be cross-referencing, so you don't have to have these numbers in your head already. But we have for us available the Coral Shop that's regular. Now, the regular Coral Shop is phenomenal. It's great. You're able to get sequences for 5-star characters, which is what people wanted to do here. They wanted to be able to get sequences for 5-star characters.
First off, just look at how much Lucy and Rebecca, like, okay.
By getting the refunds. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that in order to spend 360 to get the sequence for Lucy or Rebecca, you have to obtain 480. That is bizarre. So in order to...
Insanity. Listen, I know they have markers to hit and all that, but I'm still criticizing this. What I look like not criticizing this? Like, do you know, like, stop.
Spend 360, you actually have to get over the amounts that you need first, which is ridiculous. You obviously don't need to do that for the regular one. Why would you need to get more in order to spend? Well, obviously because of greed, and that's not all. When in the base coral, you get more corals on the refunds. It's so greedy. On obtaining a 5-star for the first time, you will get 15 afterglow corals. On obtaining a 5-star that you already own, you will get 1 wave band and 15.
Dude, it is
from
so
the 8th time onward,
much different. That's crazy.
So we're kind of gonna speed run through this, but I'm just gonna cross-reference the numbers in real time right now. We have 15, 15, 40. Here, we have 12, 12, 30.
That is such a huge downgrade. In the end, it's going to be people defending this. Some of that. I think that's the craziest thing, is there's going to be really be people defending this. Once we look at these comments, holy moly.
That's strange. Okay, we have 3, 3, 8. Okay, sure. We have 2, 2, 5. Okay, that's interesting. 4-star weapon, you get 3. Okay, what's important? Whenever you obtain a 5-star that is not the featured, you will get an additional 30. That's awesome. When you obtain a 5-star that's not, you get an additional 25. Huh, that's interesting. And that's all of them. And now, obviously, I do not have not obviously, but I forgot to get a screenshot of the weapon one, but you'll imagine that all of these are different as well. So, not only do you need to get more corals in order to unlock these extra sequences, but you actually get refunded less corals per dupe than in the regular amount of generosity.
360, but you need 480, like... Please, someone defend this. Genuinely, please, somebody defend this.
That's disgusting. That's like the worst thing I've ever seen Kuro do, ever. What is this? Now, I want you to think about everything that we've kind of spoken about this far, right? We have the $25 bike skins. We have accessory skins that cost $4. We have multiple limited time $10 bike skins. We have more and more accessories and character skins costing more money. We have a wing glider set. All of these other methods, all of those skins that you only see in lower tier gachas, and then they have the audacity to come out and fundamentally change all of the rules in the Coral banner for the collab, where gacha games are expected to be more generous, more giving, with more generosity, and yet they just kind of just crap on the player base.
Completely ridiculous, by the way. And what's more ridiculous is, well, it's not even ridiculous. The people that is going to defend this,
requiring more resources for less pulls, they change the rules. I mean, it's disgusting. You'll notice that in recent times, Kuro Games has been collabing with more and more companies. The reason being that Kuro Games is not satisfied with the amount of players that are playing the game. Basically, here's what happens in gacha games. When players aren't playing the game, or at least less people are playing, there's less people available to spend money. And when less people spend money, more egregious practices have to occur in order to make up the missing income from the existing player base.
Okay, kind of fair argument. Okay.
We have a collab here with Kaiju number 8, a collab here with Persona 5 and
Persona 5.
Sonic and Persona 4 or...
Mind you, these are just freaking, if I'm not mistaken, those are bike skins. And what are those stickers? I don't, yeah.
One of those. We have a collab here with Angry Birds.
Angry flipping birds. Wow, okay. I think these are all bike skins, by the way, which is...
We have a collab here with Resident Evil 30. There's so many collabs in order to get more people to play the game. Wow. Now, how long has it been so far? Holy crap, it's been 18 minutes. That's disgusting. It is what it is. This video will take as long as it needs. Now, we talked about how they sold out. We talked about the ultimate level of greed ever before seen.
Ultimate level of greed. If anyone says it's not, then stop. Like, why are we capping? Why are we you're just straight up lying now, quite frankly. You would just be lying.
But nothing I've said, those are literally the numbers. Nothing I said changes. Now we need to talk about, how did this happen? How did we get here? What happened to Kuro Games that made them change their mind on being generous and using all of these low-tier practices to make more money? Unfortunately, like all problems, it all starts with Genshin Impact, which is a game
Wait, what? What am I even looking at? Yo, do not demonetize me. Yo.
Now, make no mistake. Oh, thing on it. Like many people want me to do. I think the game's great, and I pretty much exclusively use Genshin Impact music.
Wait, you think Genshin flipping Impact is great? Hold on, wait.
Crapping on it, like many people want me to do. I think the game's great, and I pretty much exclusively use Genshin Impact music.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Genshin Impact is not great. Honestly, oh, you think it's great? No!
In all of my videos, because it's just superior in my opinion.
We don't care about the flipping OST, boy!
To most music and gacha games. Let's talk about the history.
Absolutely not. For one, Genshin Impact is worse than Wuthering Waves, easily. Sorry that I'm sorry that I had to get there, but dare I say even more predatory than Wuthering flipping Waves? I don't know, but no. It is. I don't even know why I said that. It is more predatory than Wuthering Waves, like easily. Like easily, and there's no skip button. Like,
what happened in the battle between Wuthering Waves, Kuro, and Genshin Impact that has led to Kuro Games doing all of these practices? Basically, here's what happened. When Kuro Games launched, at least here's my theory of what happened. When Kuro Games launched, they positioned themselves marketing as the Genshin Impact killer. They were the people who were supposed to be competing with the big boys. Turns out, Kuro had massive optimization issues. Because of these issues, the game was effectively manhandled by Genshin and other gacha games at the time, and a lot of players just left. Right? It had a huge exodus of players, and it wasn't able to maintain them. Of course,
yeah, I digress. I'm one of them. Once ZZZ was released, and I had to pick between Wuthering Waves and ZZ Flippin' Z. I picked ZZ Flippin' Z. Unironically, I picked ZZZ, even though people think I hate ZZZ. No, I used to like ZZZ. Now it's garbage now. I find it ironic how ZZ is now the one that's garbage now. Somehow, someway, Wuthering Waves is the one that is now like I just find that ironic how I used to like ZZ more than Wuthering Waves. Now it's just like Wuthering Waves is just like eat miles better.
Of course, gacha games never really recover, but Wuthering Waves somehow rebounded in version 2.0, where
somehow, some way. That's what I'm saying. One thing about Wuthering Waves, I do not know how one of the greatest gacha game comebacks of all time. But it's not crazy though, because when you really think about it, there was nothing to play back in the day. Like all it was Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, if I'm not mistaken. And heck, that was pretty much about it. They might have even sped up their process to release before ZZZ, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the only reason why people was playing this game was because people were so tired of Genshin, which valid. Like I would be tired of Genshin too. And if I had to choose back then, if I had nothing else to play, I would have played Wuthering Waves, which I did. But when ZZZ came out and I saw the freaking Gunnar aesthetic, which is now killing the game, I was out.
Basically, it was able to get a large sum of players back despite all of the issues. But it never fully recovered from that huge era. Now, in order to make a monumental comeback like Wuthering Waves did, it needed a lot of effort in its character animations. You notice that there are certain animations in Wuthering Waves that are just superior to every other gacha game in the space, right? It's superior in Imus animations, in Hiyuki's animations, in Carlotta's
Yeah, definitely the best animations hands down in any gacha game. That's not really debatable.
In Carlotta's animations. I mean, if you compare the animations pound for pound for any Genshin Impact character or any sequence in the game at all to Wuthering Waves animations, it's obvious that Wuthering Waves wins. And Kuro was beginning to get increasingly upset that despite the fact that they're putting in more effort per character than Genshin, they're only making a fraction of the revenue. It's almost a sense of disrespect. Why is it that we're putting in so much effort only to get mogged by Varka, a character who literally has the same animations as Razor, a 4-star character in Genshin Impact?
That is crazy, but at the same time, it's Genshin flipping Impact. Mind you, this was a crazy,
we're getting mogged by Genshin's worst characters of all time, and we're putting in immense effort. In fact, think about this. One of the only times Wuthering Waves has surpassed Genshin in revenue was in 3.1 with Imeth, an absolute landmark, monumental unit.
Now, I don't know if this is true because I feel like Wuthering Waves has been above Genshin Impact before. But again, what are we basing this off of? If we're basing this off the gacha revenue chart, then I don't know. Some people might not feel a certain way about that because those might not be real. But Genshin Impact definitely makes more than Wuthering Waves.
They were able to get, the censor data is unreliable. They were able to get around 30 million plus in that month. Maybe they made more, but that's like the lower end. And Genshin in that month only made around 29 million because it was Varka. And they paid a price despite his reused animations. I guess the community did not like it as much. Think about that. And it was one of Genshin's worst months of all time. Think about that. In order for Wuthering Waves to surpass Genshin financially, it has to have its best performing month of all time during Genshin's worst performing month of all time. They're literally getting mogged financially, and Kuro Games is not happy about that.
I'm already knowing people in the comments about to go crazy about this, but if this is true, because I don't know, I would literally have to go fact check this, quite frankly, because I wasn't even playing the game at the time. But that does sound to be, that does look like it's accurate. I'm not gonna lie, it do look a little accurate. Nah. It does seem a little accurate, even though Imus patch was generally one of the best patches in gacha gaming history, quite frankly.
Now, in the perspective of a gamer, you might say to yourself, Vibe, what's the problem here? Kuro Games is literally making so much more money hand over fist than any single player game in existence. Certainly more than Hollow Knight, Silksong, or Expedition 33. So why is it a problem that they're clearly making enough money? Now, in our minds, we're comparing Kuro Games to single-player games, and that seems like a fair comparison. But that's not the comparison that Kuro Games is making, and why should they? They routinely compare themselves to their competitors. Why should they compare themselves to single-player games? At the very least, if that's not the comparison they're making, then it might as well not matter in their minds, especially when it comes to financial decisions that they make. So they're comparing themselves to Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and they're saying, we're putting in all this effort, not making as much money as these games. We need to use other avenues to get money. And that's how we've been seeing how Kuro Games has basically admitted, unfortunately, that it's unable to generate as much money as these other games when it comes to character revenue themselves.
Now listen, could he be right about this? Yes. Could he be wrong about this? Yes as well. Do I agree with what he's saying? Honestly, it's not ridiculous to say, quite frankly. I don't think that's the reason though, but it would line up to what he's saying. I'm like, nah. Nah, it do kind of line up to what he's saying though. Like, is you really listening to him though? Is you hearing him though? Okay.
I'm not excusing Kuro's behavior on all of these bike skins and this absolutely disgusting Cyberpunk culture.
But somehow, some ways, there's going to be some way people defending this. We're gonna look at the comms. The comms is the most funniest thing.
lab rewriting of the rules, but it is a minor explanation on how Kuro has changed.
With Loki, the explanation, it does kind of make sense. Now, again, I don't know if the Wuthering Waves is not top Genshin. If that is the case, then that is actually crazy. If Wuthering Waves is not top Genshin Impact, I just don't believe that's the case. I feel like they've done it before. I know you said what I'm it, but like, have they never topped Genshin flipping Impact?
They said to themselves, listen guys, we were so generous in the beginning that the rules have to change if we want to continue competing with all of these upper AAA gotchas. At the end of the day, it's not even clear to me how to end a video like this, because I don't hold any animosity towards Wuthering Waves, despite all of the egregious things they did.
Yeah, no, listen, despite all of this, it's literally the best gacha game out right now. Now, again, NTE is my go-to, but at the same time, it's on its 1.1. You know, I'll compare it when it's there later. Kuro Games is definitely like easily has the best. Like Wuthering Waves is the best easily. It's not even like a debate. Story's the best, animation the best, comment is the best, end game is the best, like hardcore wise, like end game's the best. That being said though, this is crazy, quite frankly, and there's gonna be people defending this, which low-key, let's just go ahead and look at these comments, bro. I mean, for one alone, listen, the dislike ratio alone says enough. This man got 365 likes and 329 downvotes. Now again, this is not my first rodeo seeing this. I've seen this before. In fact, I might have had this happen to me before. I ain't gonna say too much. Bro complaining about bike skins and he bought every single one. Either way, it doesn't matter. Had he bought them or not, is he now? Do I think that really? I don't have any bike skins, quite frankly. I don't really care about the flipping bike, buddy. I don't care about the bike. I don't. But at the same time, why is a bike skin cost $24 flipping dollars? Ridiculous, quite frankly. It's ridiculous. Ain't no matter how much good the patches are, ain't no matter how good the story gets, Kuro will never reach Genshin's revenue because MF will complain about the sorriest stuff and cry about bike skins, accessories, or collab that was announced a year ago. Does that invalidate anything? No, it makes no sense. Like, again, does that invalidate anything? No. And he's talking about the collab as well. Are people really just gonna slide by Cyberpunk collab? I think they are gonna slide by. Okay, all right, that's it. The game. 50% of people don't know this is brutally honest rage bait content. Is it though? Is he lying though? Okay, either way, people who complain about cosmetic in free-to-play games might be the dumbest people alive in the world. Again, defending the practice of a multi-billion-dollar company. Excuse me, billion. Let me lower the standards. Multi-million-dollar company, by the way. And the Cyberpunk collab is proof of that. Like, anyways, it's not even just about the freaking skins, it's about the collab. Either way, these are facts indeed. Two things can be true at the same time. The collab was amazing and very high quality. Exactly. The gacha banners and the Kuro shop stuff was very predatory and scummy. Exactly. That's all that needs to be said. I sub for funny videos, but he keeps going down this road. Bro will be added to my block list, which I find ironic when he has a Mornier freaking profile picture. We already know you're a Kuro bot. I can't take you serious. As someone who is free to play, the only greed I see is a reduced Kuros, which you just don't know. This is not good for you free to play players either. Okay, look at this. It's reduced Kuros, no pity carryover to or from limiteds, and increasing Kuro requirements to 480 before you can purchase dupes. Absolute insanity. Also, the new region gives you a grand total of 5 collab pulls for exploring it. 5. Okay, yeah, 5. Is this rage bait? Oh, my bike has 40% crit rate equipped. The Cyberpunk collab was definitely predatory. Let's see what people say about this. As a gacha game player that also plays other games, Cyberpunk collab was not predatory. Unless your stupidity convinced universal gacha currency into the fact that we have Kuro bots defending, saying that this collab was not predatory is insane to me. Insanity, quite frankly. I'm so disappointed in you, man. I never thought you would be like this. Wow, you're disappointed that he's criticizing the video game. You guys seriously need to separate your personal feelings from the game you occasionally play. It's actually funny to see how hurt people can be, and honestly, base, quite frankly, because let me just let this be clear. You need to be criticizing every gacha game you play, quite frankly. There is no endless glazing, quite frankly. There is no endless glazing. So we have somebody that knows that what Kuro Games is doing, yet is saying this is our sarcastic post. Wait, this isn't a sarcastic post? I agree that Rover's blue crown costing $250 is bad, but that's just Kuro shooting themselves in the foot for like the 20th time, plus the Cyberpunk collab banner and shop. So you know this is happening, but you're not gonna speak out against it. I think I made my point, and quite frankly, people will keep defending until one day they wake up and say what happened once it started affecting them personally, and it's already affecting my wallets, quite frankly. So I think we done here, quite frankly. Sad but true. Honestly, yeah. Anyone defending this? There is no defending this. Why are you defending this? Like, no, we're done. Quite frankly,